Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with the Secret Not Secret Kit Club Telephone Hop. And if you don't know what a telephone hop is, think about the game that most of us have played as a child, where the first person in line will start with usually a saying or a couple of words, and they will pass that down through the line, and you find out how much it's changed by the time it gets to the end person. Well, we decided to do the same concept, but only we started with one person would pick an inspiration, create a layout, and they would then pass that layout on to the next person, and it would go through the list. So I was given a layout from Brianna Nicole, and I will have her YouTube channel linked below. If you are picking this up with my layout, you can go back and see what Brianna's inspiration was and her layout that I'm inspired by. And then I'm passing my layout on to Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. And so I'll have Christy's layout or Christy's channel linked below so that you can hop over tomorrow to see Christy's take on my layout. And so basically for the next couple of days, you're going to see everybody's take on the person before them's layout. So then by the time we get to, I think it's about 7 days or 10 days, when we get to the end of that, we can see what the layout started out as for inspiration, and then how the last person, by the time it went through the hop, what their layout ended up looking like. So a really fun concept. It was super fun to take on a challenge of being inspired by someone else's layout. And so that is what you are going to see today with this process. And so while I was talking, I did go ahead and show you everything that I pulled for this layout. And the first thing that you see me doing here is I have taken all of my Distress Oxide colors in basically a rainbow of colors, and I am going to take this white piece of cardstock that I have put some gesso on, and I'm just going to create a rainbow background for this layout. And I really love how it turned out. I love a good rainbow background, and so this was really fun to make and be inspired by the rainbow colors. And I'm basically just taking some Distress Oxide. I spread it with just putting the ink pad to the paper, and then I'm spraying some water and letting that water just drip that distress ink all the way down the page. In some cases, especially with the green, I found that it was getting really, really light. And so I do keep adding a bit more green and a bit more yellow. Those ones especially, I kept adding a little bit more here and there just to get the color a little bit dark. I will say that I was going for definitely sort of a bit more of a muted or a paler rainbow, not a primary color rainbow. So I really do love how it turned out. Now, this paper definitely gets really, really wet. So I will say, if you're going to do this technique, be sure to gesso, because your paper will not stand up to this much water without the gesso. And the other thing I would definitely say is set it off to dry, and then when it's just about dry, go ahead and put something really heavy over the top of it just to keep your paper from warping. That's what I did with this, and I had very little warping in the end, which worked out great. So I would definitely recommend that if you're going to do this technique, but it is very, very simple. It's simply put on some color, let the water do the work, and you can layer on and add as much color as you want and make it as dark or as light as you prefer. So that is going to be the background, and there you see it is all dry, and I really do love how it turned out. Now off camera, I did show all those different, and basically all the papers that I showed at the beginning, they were all just scraps. I went and took my star die and just cut a whole bunch of stars in all of the colors of the rainbow for the background, and I'm doing just the tone on tone, putting the orange with the orange stripe, the yellow with the yellow, the green with the green, the blue with the blue, the purple with the purple, keeping it very tone on tone, stars coming down and cascading down my page, you know, in behind my photo and above my photo. So that is what you see me doing here. I did take those, I believe they're Pink Fresh Tiny Alphas, and I did not do a keep the blue with the blue and the yellow with the yellow with my letters. I let that kind of break the tone-on-tone color scheme, and just to give it a little bit of interest below my photo, I'm going to have my title. My photo for this one is a look from the Bay Lake Towers balcony at the Magic Kingdom, and so I am scrapbooking this. We stayed there one of our summer vacations. We stayed in the Bay Lake Tower and had a view of Magic Kingdom, and it was beautiful, and we used to love to sit and look at this view and then watch the fireworks at night. So hence my title is Love This View. And then I am just showing you there, I did grab a Felicity Jane stamp set, and I just stamped where I stand and then this little arrow underneath my title. And so I'm just adding that as a little extra detail. This layout is very, very simple in the fact that I really let the background and the rainbow be my main embellishment on this page. Apart from that, I'm going to add, like I said, that stamping, and then in amongst all of my stars, just because I used in the background that black and white striped pattern paper as my sort of border around my layout, I wanted to pull in the black so that it just kind of made the black, the introduction of that black makes sense. And so it kind of just grounds the whole layout. And so adding that little pop of black really pulls it all together. And I do really love how it turns out. It's very, very simple. There's not a lot of embellishing. I kept it really, really simple. And basically off camera, and it won't be in the still photos, which will be at the end. I am going to put my journaling in right on probably some strips underneath the title, Love This View. And so my finishing touch for this layout is just some enamel dots that I did go ahead and keep to that rainbow. And so basically I put some pink on the pink and red stripe, and then the orange and the yellow, carrying that same tone-on-tone concept through. The enamel dots allow me to have that little bit of texture, little bit of interest, little bit of dimension. I did go ahead when I put down all those stars, I will let you know, and you'll see it in the still photos a little bit better. Some of my stars are popped up on some foam so that, again, I get a little bit of interest in height without adding a whole bunch of random embellishments or anything like that to this layout. I kept it pretty simple overall. And so I'm just going to, like I said, finish putting in these enamel dots in all of the different colors, and I'm loving how it looks. I don't think you can beat a rainbow background or a rainbow color scheme. I know they're really popular right now. So next I am just going to, I believe, add a few more stars because I felt like some places were missing a little something, and adding the stars gives me, again, a little finishing touch and makes it so that it adds some interest without having to add more products. I really want it to keep to just the star background, and so that was a great way to do it with my stamps. I'm trying to make a big effort to use my stamps this year, so that's my goal. Now, I thought I was done, but to every Disney page, you should always, or at least I always, add a Mickey head. It kind of is one of my things that I always add, and I think a lot of people are the same way, always add a Mickey head. So I did go ahead and punch one of these Mickey heads in orange, and it's going to go right down there by my title. And with that, that is the finishing touch. The still photos are at the end, and please be sure to check in tomorrow with Christy's channel and see her take on my layout, and then follow through this hop over the next couple of days. There's several groups that are doing it both here on YouTube and over on Instagram. So guys, with that, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.